Hi, welcome back to another Mobility Monday video. Today we're going to continue working with increasing the range of motion in the ankle joint, as well as working to increase the strength and work on some balance as well. So the first thing that we'll do is if you want to come to standing, and we'll stand with feet about pelvis distance apart. And so you can take your hands to the pelvic bone and kind of guide your hands towards the front. There's that bony prominence, those two hip points at the front of your pelvis. So once you have found that, and then if you will think of aligning your knees and ankles right underneath those hip points, that'll get you to a good starting place. And we'll keep the feet about parallel, toes pointing forward. And so we're going to practice some balancing here, which is also going to help increase that strengthening that we're going to be doing in the ankle. And so spread, we're going to start on the right side. You can slight shift of your weight over to the right. Spread your toes, just trying to create a wider platform, if you will, with the feet. So spread your toes as wide as they'll go. You don't have to force it. Just find that comfortable spreading or that comfortable distance in between the toes. And then if you'll take a moment to bring some awareness to your outer hip. So sometimes when we're standing, we might be used to kind of jutting the hip out like that. Go ahead and think about, so here's your midline. Now if you think about your hip and you're kind of pushing it towards that midline. You don't want to push it too much. Think of keeping that alignment, right? The hip point down the knee to the ankle. But if you feel like your hip is kind of pushed out, go ahead and just kind of draw it in towards your center, towards your midline, and then squeeze the muscles of your legs in towards the bone. This left leg can just stay relaxed. And what we're going to actually do with this left leg is go ahead and bring it forward in front of you so that now you're balancing on your right leg. And you might start to feel these teeny tiny movements happening right in your ankle. And that's good. So all those muscles, they're all doing work here, working on that strengthening and the balance. And if you go off balance, that's fine. Just reset yourself. And then breathe. And we'll take just a few more breaths here. Just working with this balance and stability. Try and keep that left leg relaxed. Really want your work to be in this right leg. Good. So come back to center. You can kind of wiggle or shake it out. And then we'll set ourselves up on the left leg. So again, kind of slight shift of the weight over to your left leg. Spread the toes, a comfortable distance. You feel that left hip kind of jutting out there. Imagine or visualize your center, your midline. And it's like you're drawing your hip towards that midline, but not too much. So there's always that balance in our body. Too much, too little. Just trying to find that center point. When you are feeling secure and rooted, just draw that right leg in front of you and come to balance on your left leg. You can even feel a sense of pressing down or rooting down through the heel and the balls of the left foot. Gazing forward. Couple more breaths. Again, if you feel your foot shifting, moving around, that's good. You're working on maintaining your stability while you're here, but it's okay. If you come out of it, that's fine. Just reset yourself and come back. Take one more breath. And release. So the next option I'm going to give you, we're going to do the same work. We're going to come to a blanket. So I'm going to use my yoga blanket. Just keeping your feet on the floor, if you find you're really being challenged with your feet on the floor or the mat, that is a perfect place to stay. If you'd like to try the option with the blanket, so you're going to fold got like a tri-fold here with my yoga blanket. And if you don't specifically have a yoga blanket, it's fine. You can use any blanket. You just want to make sure there's some firmness to the blanket. It's not like a super soft one, like really cozy one that you'd use maybe while laying on the couch, watching a movie or something, or reading a book. Okay. So with the blanket folded, I'm going to start on the right leg again. Actually, let me just draw this back. Just want to make sure my head's not being cut off in the video. Okay, so I'm going to bring the right foot onto the blanket, and I'm actually going to let my toes hang off of the edge here. All right. And then come up to standing on that right leg. Something I do want you to start developing an awareness of on your standing leg is if you're locking your knee. Just have that awareness. If you feel like you're locking your knee, if you are, give that leg a slight bend. It doesn't have to be a real deep bend, just a slight bend so that you're not locking the knee. Engage the muscles so that they're hugging the bone. And then remember that push we gave in the hip. Remember midline, outer hip, not too much. Find your center, find your balance there. And then when you're ready, bring that left foot in front of you. So now you've given your foot an unstable surface. And you're asking it to do even more work than what it was doing on the floor. So bringing that variety to this type of work, to our balancing, to the strengthening. You're getting your nervous system involved now, which is good, because we're also teaching the nervous system where it might initially go, whoa, we don't need to be doing that. Over time, as you do this consistently and with practice, your nervous system starts to recognize that, okay, yeah, this is okay. We can move in that direction and we're going to be fine. So play with that a little. Take one more breath and we'll switch sides. So come out of that, maybe circle the ankle and then come onto your left foot. So again, toes hanging off the edge of the blanket. And come up to standing on that left leg. Initially, it's okay to keep your right toes on the floor until you gain balance on this left side. So just checking that, not locking into that knee. If you feel like you're pushing your knee all the way back, give it a little micro bend. Engage the muscles of your legs. It's like you're hugging the bone. That hip, if you feel like you're pushing it out, we're just going to draw it in. Feel like you're drawing it towards the midline. When you're ready, right foot reaches out in front of you. All right, so I'm real big on options. Options are great. If you're doing this and you're like, yeah, this is easy. The next place you could take it for a challenge is close your eyes. And see how that changes things for you. You can explore that. Whoop. And for me, it's always a challenge whenever I close my eyes, or it increases that challenge. But so that's another opportunity, something for you to explore and move and play with. So we'll take a few more breaths here. And then release. So the next option with this work that we are doing balancing is option 3 is to use a block. And like I said earlier, if you feel the floor, the mat, or the blanket is challenging you enough in this moment, that's totally fine. Just stay there. Stay where your body is letting you know this is where we need to be right now. Eventually, as you continue with practicing this, eventually as you grow with your balance and increase that strength and mobility, then you move up to the block. So I'm a big believer in paying attention to your body and listening and honoring to what its needs are in the moment of your practice. Okay, so block. Gonna put it down on the floor long ways. And just like we did with the blanket, you want to let your toes hang off of the edge, off of the front of it. So I'll just turn to my side. This is what I'm doing with my toes. I'm just letting it hang off the side there, if you can see that, okay? Okay. So now, might come up to, we're gonna lengthen or straighten that right leg. Again, not locking the knee, but having a slight micro bend if you feel like you're locking it. Taking a moment with that right hip. So I want to give you another point of play. Okay, so you've got this strength in your right leg. You've got that slight drawing in towards the midline with your outer hip. Now I want you to feel like you're driving your weight or your energy down through the foot. Now with that awareness, lift up your left foot. And just like before, if you're here and you feel like, well, this is just way too easy, try and close your eyes. See how that changes things for you. So the whole time that we are here, you're keeping that awareness. Everything that you initially started with in this right leg, you're maintaining that. So we're not relaxing. And if you want to explore a little more, move your foot or your gaze. And then this is a fun way to explore playing with your stability. And if the foot drops, the foot drops. Just come back, recenter, reset, and then play. And even more challenge if you want. You can shift the gaze, move the leg, and close your eyes. And we'll release that. All right, shake out the leg, and we'll switch sides. Maybe shake out the hips. Okay, so we'll bring the left foot to the block. Remember, toes hanging off the front of the block. Micro bend in the knee, strong leg, outer hip, drawing in towards your midline, and then drive your energy down through the bottom of your foot, like you're rooting to the floor, to the earth. Bring your right foot in front. So I want you to find what works for you, what's best for you right now in this practice. Maybe it's here, and developing that strength in the ankle. Maybe it's closing your eyes. It might be shifting the gaze, moving the leg, working on maintaining stability on that standing leg while you're moving around. Might be moving around with the eyes closed. All right. So a couple more breaths with that. And release. So come back to standing, eyes closed. Just take a moment and let yourself feel whatever it is that you feel in your body in this moment. Open the eyes, returning your gaze to the room. And thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope it is a benefit to you. I hope you have fun with it, exploring, finding these fun ways of movement to work with your ankle. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments, send me a direct message. Until the next time, thank you again. Bye-bye.